I'm still here because I made one stupid decision. One. That's all it took. The Ferris wheel stopped turning 42 days ago. I know because I've been counting scratches into the metal wall of this operator booth with the broken end of a screwdriver I found in the control panel. 42 lines. 42 days since the screaming stopped being something that happened to other people and became the soundtrack to everything. The booth smells like rust and old grease and me. Mostly me now. Sweat and fear have their own particular stink when you're trapped in a metal box roughly 8 feet by 6 feet, suspended 90 feet above what used to be Lakeside Amusement Park. The glass is still intact on 3 sides, thick, probably designed to withstand bird strikes or thrown objects from drunk teenagers. The 4th wall is solid metal with the control panel and a door that opens onto a maintenance catwalk so narrow I have to turn sideways to edge along it. I can see everything from up here. That's the blessing and the curse. The park spreads out below me in concentric circles of rotting carnival fun. The midway stretches from the main gate to my left, a corridor of shuttered game booths with their striped awnings flapping in the breeze. Beyond that, the carousel sits frozen, its painted horses caught mid-gallop, though several have been knocked over. I watched that happen on day 3. A group of them, maybe 20, swarmed through and their stumbling, jerking movements sent 3 horses crashing to the platform. They don't move like people. That's what you notice first. People have rhythm, intention, efficiency. These things move like broken puppets, all wrong angles and sudden stops. But they're fast when they need to be. I learned that watching a kid, couldn't have been more than 16, try to run from the funnel cake stand to the bathroom building on day 1. He made it maybe 40 yards before 6 of them took him down. I stopped watching after the first 30 seconds. The tilt-a-whirl sits directly below me, and to the right, its cars all facing different directions like they were interrupted mid-spin. One of them is full. I can see shapes inside, slumped against each other. I don't look at that car anymore. To my left, the log flume ride snakes through artificial rocks and tunnels. The water shut off after 3 days, leaving the flume empty except for one log stuck halfway up the main hill. There's something dark staining the inside of that log. I don't look at it much either. The food court is beyond the carousel. Burger Shack, Pizza Plaza, the ice cream stand shaped like a giant cone. That's where most of them congregate during the day. I've counted as many as 70 at once, just milling around the tables and trash cans. At night they spread out more, wandering the paths between rides, bumping into things. They're attracted to sound and movement, but in the absence of those things, they just drift. There are bodies everywhere. I stopped counting those after the first week. They're part of the landscape now, lumps of fabric and flesh slowly decomposing in the summer heat. We're into August now. It was late July when everything fell apart. The heat is suffocating up here in the booth. Even with the windows I can crack open slightly, but I can't open them much, or the smell from below rolls up and fills this space with a stench so thick I gag. I have a system now. Routines keep you sane. That's what I tell myself when I'm doing the same things in the same order for the 40th day in a row. Morning. I wake up when the sun hits the east-facing window directly in my eyes. Can't avoid it, no curtains, and if I hang anything up to block it, I lose the ability to see what's moving down there. Need to know what's moving down there. Always need to know. I sleep on the floor, my back against the control panel because it's the only wall without windows. Used to use my jacket as a pillow, but the jacket became a blanket a week ago when the nights got cool. Now, I use a wadded-up t-shirt. I have 3 shirts left. Started with 5, but one got too disgusting even for me, and I dropped it off the catwalk after dark. One, I tore into strips for bandages when I cut my hand on the door latch. Down to 3. First thing, check the perimeter. I stand, and my knees crack. I'm only 32, but my body feels ancient after so many days of sitting cramped in this box. I move to each window in sequence. East window, view of the parking lot and the main entrance. Count the bodies, Count the walkers. They're slower in the morning, I've noticed. Something about the cool night air makes them sluggish. As the day heats up, they get more active. The parking lot has maybe a dozen of them right now, wandering between cars. The cars are covered in grime and bird droppings. One has a smashed windshield. I watched that happen when a walker fell through it trying to climb onto the hood. It's still in there, I think, trapped in the front seat, though I haven't seen it move in days. South window, the Midway and game booths. 2 walkers near the ring toss. One by the balloon darts, just standing there, facing the booth like it's waiting for someone to hand it the darts. That one has been there for 5 days, just standing. It sways sometimes. I've named it Waiting Man because the silence does things to your head, and giving them names makes them seem less like a threat and more like neighbors. Horrible, murderous neighbors who would eat my face if they could reach me, but neighbors nonetheless. West window, the back of the park, service roads, employee areas, the big metal fence that separates the park from the maintenance yards. More bodies back there. A whole pile of them near the dumpster enclosure. I think people tried to hide there early on. Didn't work. The fence is 8 feet of chain link with barbed wire on top. I've watched walkers try to climb it. They can't figure it out. They just grab the links and stand there, shaking the fence periodically like they're testing it. Sometimes one will get a leg up on the bottom bar, but they can't coordinate enough to actually climb. Small mercies. North window. Partial view of the park's north section, the kiddie area with the little dragon coaster and the spinning teacups. The bathroom building where that kid was running. Don't look at the bathroom building. After perimeter check, inventory. I keep everything organized in the corner opposite my sleeping spot. Supplies arranged in order of importance. Water, 3 bottles left. They're the 16-ounce kind from the vending machine I could reach from the catwalk on day 2. There was a machine mounted on the platform halfway down the Ferris wheel, emergency water for ride operators, I guess. I smashed the glass with a piece of railing I pried loose and grabbed everything I could carry. Got 8 bottles total. I'm on bottle 6 now, rationing it to maybe a pint a day. I'm perpetually thirsty. My lips are cracked and my mouth tastes like copper. 3 bottles left means maybe 6 more days if I'm careful. After that, there's a water fountain at the base of the Ferris wheel. I can see it from here. 70 feet of ladder and catwalk to get down there. 70 feet through the mechanism, past the giant gears in the motor housing, down the maintenance ladder to the operator platform at ground level. There are at least 4 walkers I can see around the base of the ride at any given time, more in the surrounding area. Getting down there would be suicide. Food, half a box of Cracker Jacks, 1 Snickers bar that melted and re-solidified into a misshapen lump, pack of peanut butter crackers, and 5 pieces of hard candy I found in the control panel drawer. Probably left by the last operator before. I've been eating 1 cracker per day. The Cracker Jacks I'm saving for when I need morale more than calories. The Snickers is emergency only. The candy I suck on when the thirst gets really bad tricks your mouth into producing saliva. 5 candies left. I had 9. This math is killing me. Tools. The screwdriver with the broken tip that I use for the calendar marks, a small adjustable wrench, a pocket knife I had on me when this started, 3-inch blade, partially serrated, has already saved my life once when I needed to cut away part of my shoelace that got caught in the catwalk grating. A length of electrical wire I stripped from the control panel, maybe 10 feet of it, coiled up. Might be useful for something. A lighter that's maybe 1/4 full. I flick it once per day to make sure it still works. 17 flicks so far. I'm terrified of it running out. First aid, the shirt strips I mentioned, mostly clean. A small bottle of hand sanitizer that was in my pocket. Maybe 10 pumps left. I've been using it sparingly to keep my hands clean because the last thing I need is an infection. No other medical supplies. I have a bruise on my left shin from where I banged into the control panel on day 5 that's turned a spectacular purple yellow. A cut on my right palm from the door latch that's healing, but looks pink and angry around the edges. I sanitize it every morning. 8 pumps left after today. Miscellaneous, my phone, dead since day 4. I keep it anyway. My wallet with $17 and a driver's license and a credit card that represent a world that doesn't exist anymore. A receipt from the gas station where I stopped before coming to the park. A photo of my sister that I keep in the wallet. I don't look at it much. Looking at it means thinking about where she is, whether she made it, if she's in some booth or box or basement somewhere like me, counting her own scratches into her own wall. That kind of thinking is dangerous up here. After inventory, bathroom. This is the worst part of the routine. I have a corner, the southeast corner, as far from my sleeping area as possible. I piss into an empty water bottle and then carefully, so carefully, pour it out the east window, making sure the wind isn't blowing back toward the booth. Number 2 is worse. I use pieces of the cardboard I found in the control panel drawer, old filing folders, maintenance logs from 2019, and do my business on the cardboard, and then fold it up and wait until after dark to drop it off the catwalk. Can't do it during the day because they notice things falling, and while I don't think they're smart enough to figure out someone's up here, I'm not willing to test that theory. The smell in the southeast corner is bad, despite my efforts. On hot days, it's almost unbearable, but the alternative is worse, so I live with it. After bathroom routine, observation period. This is when I really watch. Not just the perimeter check glance, but serious observation. I'm learning things about them. They have patterns. Waiting man at the balloon darts booth doesn't move much during the day, but at night I've seen him wander to the hot dog cart, stand there for a while, then wander back. Takes him about 3 hours to complete the circuit. Why? No idea, but he does it every night. There's a woman in a pink tank top who circles the carousel, endlessly. She just walks around it, always clockwise, bumping into the platform edge, adjusting, continuing. She's been doing this for at least 3 weeks. Her tank top used to be pink. Now it's mostly brown. A group of 3, 2 men, and something that might be a teenage girl, stay near the funnel cake stand. They don't interact with each other exactly, but they don't separate either. If one drifts toward the midway, the others follow eventually. Pack behavior? Maybe. Or maybe they all just liked funnel cake in their previous lives, and some fragment of memory keeps them tethered to that spot. The one that scares me most is the fast one. I've only seen him 3 times, but each time he's moving with purpose. Not the aimless shuffle of the others, but actual running. He appears from the north section, tears across the midway at a full sprint, then disappears into the food court area. Where does he go? Why does he run? Is he chasing something I can't see? Is he different from the others somehow? I don't know. But every time I see him, my chest tightens and I back away from the windows, even though I know he can't reach me up here. I think he remembers more. That's what terrifies me. The shambling ones seem like they're operating on the most basic impulses: move, hunt, feed. But the fast one? He navigates obstacles. I saw him vault over a trash can. That requires coordination, spatial awareness. He's further along some horrible spectrum that ends in... what? Full intelligence trapped in a cannibalistic body? The thought keeps me up at night. After observation, maintenance. I check the door lock. It's a simple sliding bolt on the inside, but I've reinforced it with the wire wrapped around the handle and secured to a bracket on the wall. I test the windows to make sure none of the cracks have widened. I examine the catwalk through the door's small window. It's a thick, wire-reinforced glass the size of my hand. The catwalk is empty. It's always empty. Nothing can reach it without climbing the Ferris wheel's main ladder. And so far, none of them have figured out ladders. But I check anyway. Every day. Because the day I don't check is the day one of them will be there, pressed against the door, and I'll open it without knowing. After maintenance, the long middle of the day. This is the hardest part. The waiting, the heat, the boredom punctuated by terror whenever something moves in an unexpected way below. I've taken to talking to myself, not out loud, can't risk the noise, but in my head, like I'm narrating my own nature documentary. Here, we observe the human in his natural habitat, a rusted metal box in the sky. Notice how he checks the same window for the 17th time today, despite nothing having changed. Fascinating. It helps. Gives the thought shape instead of letting them spiral. I think about how I ended up here a lot. Can't help it. The mind wanders when you're starving and dehydrated and watching the same horrible scene play out below for the 40th consecutive day. I came to Lakeside on July 23rd because I was driving home from a job interview 2 states over. The interview hadn't gone well. I could tell by the way the hiring manager kept checking his phone while I talked about my experience in systems analysis. Whatever. Another rejection to add to the pile. I was unemployed for 6 months before this, watching my savings drain, applying to anything that looked remotely viable. The interview was in Cleveland. I lived in Pittsburgh. It's a 3-hour drive, mostly interstate, but I got off at the Lakeside exit because I needed gas, and I saw the amusement park sign and thought, why not? When was the last time I did something just because? I was the only person who thought that at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday in late July, apparently, because the parking lot was maybe 1/4 full. Families, mostly. Some teenagers. The ticket booth woman barely looked at me when I paid the $30 admission. The wristband she gave me was neon yellow. I still have it on. It's faded now, the paper inside the plastic almost disintegrating from sweat, but I can't bring myself to cut it off. I rode the log flume first, sat in the log by myself while a bored operator hit the button and sent me up the conveyor. The ride smelled like chlorine and mildew. The big drop at the end got me completely soaked. They always aimed the splash toward the seats. I remember laughing, sitting there dripping wet, thinking about how the hiring manager's face would look if I showed up to a second interview in cargo shorts and a soaked t-shirt. There wasn't going to be a second interview, but I didn't know that yet. After the log flume, I got a corn dog and ate it while walking the midway. The carnival games were rigged, obviously. There was something comforting about the normalcy of it. Teenagers trying to impress their dates by throwing baseballs at milk bottles, kids screaming on the spinning strawberries, the smell of fried dough and cotton candy, and that particular funk that all amusement parks have, hot asphalt and old grease and sugar. I rode the tilt-a-whirl next. That's when I first noticed something was wrong. The ride operator was a kid, maybe 19, with acne scars and a Lakeside polo shirt 2 sizes too big. He was sweating hard despite the shade, and he kept wiping his face with his arm. When he came to check my safety bar, I saw his hands were shaking. "You okay?" I asked. He nodded quickly, not making eye contact. "Fine, just, you hear the news?" "What news?" "About the thing in the city. Pittsburgh, I think? Some kind of incident." He fumbled with the bar, finally getting it locked. "My buddy texted me, but the message was weird, cut off." "I'm sure it's fine," I said, which is what you say when someone mentions vague, bad news. Because what else can you say? He hit the start button, and the ride lurched into motion. The tilt-a-whirl spins you in unpredictable directions. That's the whole point. So I spent 3 minutes being thrown against the safety bar while the world whirled around me in streaks of color and carnival music. When it stopped, I felt dizzy and slightly nauseous, which is also the point. The operator was on his phone when I got off, his face pale. He didn't acknowledge me walking past. I should have left then. That's the stupid decision I mentioned at the start. I should have gotten in my car and driven home, except home was 3 hours away, and I'd just paid $30, and I was trying to enjoy something, damn it, because the job interview hadn't gone well, and my bank account was terrifying, and my sister hadn't called me back in 3 weeks, and I just wanted one afternoon where things felt normal. So I stayed. I got in line for the Ferris wheel. There were maybe 8 people ahead of me, a family with 2 kids, a couple holding hands, an older man by himself reading a paperback. The Ferris wheel operator was a woman in her 50s with gray hair and a ponytail, and the same oversized polo shirt. She was loading people into the cars with practiced efficiency, 2 or 3 per car, pulling the safety bar down with a mechanical click. The family got 1 car, the couple got the next, the old man got the one after that, sitting alone, like me. Then it was my turn. "Just you?" the operator asked. "Just me." She gestured to the car, and I climbed in. The seat was hot plastic with cracks in it, patches of duct tape over the worst parts. The safety bar came down with that same click. She moved on to the next car. There was no one else in line now, and then walked back to her booth to start the ride. The Ferris wheel at Lakeside isn't huge. It's not one of those massive 100-foot observation wheels you see on postcards. It's old, probably installed in the 70s, refurbished a few times, but showing its age. 90 feet tall, maybe 15 cars total, takes about 8 minutes for a full rotation. The motor makes a grinding sound, and the whole structure sways slightly when it moves, which is either charming or terrifying, depending on your perspective. I was at the top, stopped to let someone on or off below, when I heard the screaming. Not the good screaming, not the kids on a roller coaster screaming, the other kind. I looked down and saw people running, not in an organized way. Not like a fire drill or an evacuation. People were sprinting, shoving each other, falling. A woman near the funnel cake stand went down, and 3 people trampled right over her trying to get past. I saw the hot dog cart tip over, spilling its contents across the pavement. Then I saw why they were running. There was a man, or something that used to be a man, lurching down the midway at an impossible speed. His gait was wrong, all jerking limbs and twisted posture, but he was fast. He caught up to a teenage girl near the carousel and grabbed her arm. She spun around, screaming, and I saw his face. Gray skin, eyes that were clouded over, white except for dark veins spreading from the pupil. Mouth open, jaw hanging slack, and when he bit down on her shoulder, I could see the blood spray even from 90 feet up. The Ferris wheel kept turning, slowly, mechanically, the car descending while chaos erupted below. I saw the operator, the gray-haired woman, run from her booth toward the emergency shutoff, but something tackled her before she reached it. She went down hard, didn't get up. I saw the old man with the paperback in the car below me lean over the side and vomit. I saw more of them pouring into the park from the parking lot entrance, dozens of them, moving in that same broken puppet way. I saw people trying to fight back, a man with a trash can lid, using it like a shield, park security guard with his baton out. Neither of them lasted long. The Ferris wheel jerked to a stop. Not an emergency stop, more like the motor gave out or someone hit the controls randomly. I was 3 cars from the top, suspended at maybe 70 feet, watching the world end below me. People were dying, not might die, were actively dying. I watched a father try to protect his 2 kids by putting himself between them and 3 of those things. They pulled him down and the kids ran, but not fast enough. I turned away from the east window after that. The couple that was holding hands made it to the parking lot. I could see them weaving between cars. Then they disappeared behind a van, and I didn't see them again. The park emptied fast, 5 minutes, maybe less, and the screaming changed from everywhere to isolated pockets, then to occasional, then to almost silence, except for the moaning. That's what they do when they're not chasing something. They moan. Low, gurgling sounds that could be mistaken for wind if you didn't know better. The sound carries. Echoes off the rides and buildings. Even up here I can hear it constantly, a background noise that never quite disappears. I sat in the car for maybe an hour, frozen. The safety bar was still locked. I could have climbed out. The cars don't have roofs, just the bucket seat and the bar. But where would I go? Down? To the platform where those things were stumbling around. I looked down at the base of the Ferris wheel and counted 7 of them near the operator booth. 7 that I could see. So I climbed up instead. The Ferris wheel car has a metal frame, and above that frame is the spoke, the arm that connects the car to the central hub. It's not designed for climbing, but it's possible if you're desperate enough. And I was desperate. I pulled myself up and onto the car's frame, balancing on the edge, and reached for the spoke. It was hot from the sun, the metal burning my palms, but I held on and pulled, hand over hand, shimmying up the angled support like the world's worst rock climb. Below me, the car swayed. One of the things on the ground looked up. Whether it saw me or just reacted to the movement, I don't know. But it didn't try to climb after me. The spoke connected to the hub, and from the hub, there was a maintenance platform. I've seen Ferris wheels being maintained before. There's always a catwalk system so workers can access the mechanism without shutting down the ride or bringing in a crane. This one was no different. A narrow metal walkway circling the central hub, with a ladder leading up to the motor housing and operator booth at the very top. I made it to the catwalk, then to the ladder, then to the booth. The door was unlocked. I stumbled inside and immediately threw the bolt. Then I collapsed on the floor and shook for what felt like hours but was probably more like 10 minutes. When I finally looked outside, the park was transformed. Bodies everywhere. Things that used to be people stumbling between rides, bumping into walls, falling down and getting back up. The sun was setting, turning everything orange and red, and for a moment, it looked almost beautiful in a horrible way, like a painting of the apocalypse. I found the vending machine that first night, smashed the glass and took the water, found the screwdriver and the wrench in the control panel, made my first scratch on the wall. Day 1. That was 42 days ago. The sun is directly overhead now, turning the booth into an oven. I've stripped down to my undershirt and boxers. Modesty is a luxury I can't afford when the temperature inside this metal box probably exceeds 100 degrees. My remaining shirts are folded in the corner with the supplies. I'll put one back on at dusk when it cools down. Waiting man is still at the balloon dart booth. Pink tank top is on her 16th lap around the carousel. I've been counting. The group of 3 near the funnel cake stand has grown to 4. A new one joined them this morning, crawling up from the direction of the bathroom building. It's missing its left leg below the knee, just drags itself along with its arms, leaving a smear trail. It took almost 3 hours to cross from the bathroom to the food court. When it finally reached the funnel cake stand, the others didn't react. It just joined them, lying there in the growing pile of bodies and rot. I wonder how long until they decompose completely. The internet said, back when the internet existed, that a human body in summer heat can skeletonize in a few weeks if exposed to the elements and scavengers. But I don't see birds anymore. Haven't seen a bird in over a week. Did they flee the area? Did the infection spread to them too? I watched a squirrel run across the midway on day 12. One of the walkers grabbed it and bit it. The squirrel writhed, died, and then stood up and staggered off on 4 legs. So, yeah, it spreads to animals. No birds means the bodies below are decomposing slower. Some of them are bloated, distended, skin splitting. Others are desiccating in the heat, turning leathery. The smell is beyond description. On the worst days, when the wind blows from the south and carries the stench directly up from the food court, I have to press my face against the north window and breathe through my mouth until I stop gagging. I'm gagging right now, actually. The wind just shifted. I force myself to breathe slowly, counting to 4 on the inhale, 4 on the exhale. It's a technique I learned in a mindfulness app I used to use when work stress got bad. The app would probably be useful right now, but my phone is dead and I don't have a way to charge it. The booth has electrical outlets, but no power. The park's grid failed on day 6. The lights went out all at once, midday, and suddenly the constant hum of electricity that you don't notice until it's gone just stopped. No power means no working the controls, not that it matters. The Ferris wheel isn't going anywhere. The motor is seized. I tried the manual release on day 3 thinking maybe I could lower myself down car by car. The mechanism is rusted solid. Either it wasn't maintained properly or 42 days of exposure has corroded it beyond use. Probably both. The wind shifts again, mercifully, and the smell lessens. I move to the west window and look toward the back fence. There's movement near the dumpster enclosure. 3 of them, milling around the pile of bodies. One is pulling at something, an arm maybe. There's a tearing sound that carries even up here. I look away. The service road beyond the fence is empty. It's been empty since day 8, when I saw a National Guard truck drive past. I waved, I screamed, I banged on the window until my hands hurt. The truck didn't stop. It was moving fast, and there were things chasing it. The truck turned the corner at the end of the service road, and I never saw it again. No one is coming. I accepted that around day 20. The realization didn't hit all at once. It was gradual. Day 5, okay, they're probably organizing a response. Day 10, the response is taking longer than expected. Day 15, maybe the response failed. Day 20, there is no response. There is no organization. There is no they. There's just me in this booth and them down there, and that's all there is. My stomach cramps. Hunger has become a constant companion, dulled only by the fact that my body is eating itself to survive. I've lost weight. My shorts don't fit right anymore, hanging loose on my hips. My face feels gaunt when I touch it. I haven't seen a mirror since this started, which is probably for the best. I eat 1 cracker from the peanut butter packet, 6 crackers left after this. I chew slowly, making it last, letting the paste dissolve on my tongue. It tastes like sawdust and chemicals in heaven. When it's gone, I take the smallest sip from water bottle 6, maybe 2 ounces, enough to wet my throat. The water is warm and tastes like plastic. 3 bottles left. I need to make a decision soon, stay here and die of dehydration or attempt to reach the water fountain at the base of the wheel. Those are the options. There's no third choice where rescue arrives, or the walkers suddenly leave, or I discover a hidden cache of supplies. The math is simple. 3 bottles, 6 days if I'm lucky. After that, maybe 2 more days before dehydration kills me. 8 days total. 8 days to figure out if I'm brave enough to try the descent. I'm not brave. That's the thing I've learned about myself up here. I'm a coward. I know this because every time I look at the door, every time I think about opening it and stepping onto the catwalk and starting the long climb down, my body refuses. My hands shake, my breathing gets shallow, my vision tunnels. Panic attack. I've had 7 of them so far, always when I get too close to seriously considering the descent. So I sit here instead, safe, starving, dying slowly while watching the already dead stumble around below. The afternoon stretches on. The heat becomes almost unbearable. I pour a tiny amount of water on my undershirt and press it to my forehead, my neck. The evaporation cools me for maybe 30 seconds before the heat returns. I'm sweating constantly, which means I'm losing water, which means I'm accelerating my own death. But I can't stop sweating any more than I can stop breathing. Around what I estimate to be 3 p.m., my sense of time is based entirely on the sun's position. Something changes below. The fast one appears. He comes from the north section like always, but this time, he's not alone. He's chasing something. No, someone, a person, a living person, running. I press against the south window, breath fogging the glass. The person is small, thin, wearing dark clothes. They're fast, weaving between the game booths with clear intelligence, vaulting over a trash can that the fast one crashes into. The distance between them grows. The runner heads toward the carousel, and I lose sight of them behind the platform. The fast one follows, his jerking sprint somehow covering ground despite looking like he should fall with every step. He disappears behind the carousel too. Silence for 30 seconds, a minute, then screaming, high-pitched, terrified, young. It cuts off abruptly. I stand at the window for 5 minutes, waiting to see if the runner emerges. They don't. The fast one does, walking now, his face and hands dark with fresh blood. He heads back toward the north section and vanishes between buildings. Pink tank top continues her circuit around the carousel. She doesn't react to what just happened 10 feet from her. Waiting man sways at the balloon dart booth. The group at the funnel cake stand doesn't move. Someone else was alive. For maybe 3 minutes, there was another person surviving in this park. Now there isn't. I sit down hard. My back against the control panel. My hands are shaking again. Not from fear this time. From anger. What? At the fast one? At the situation? At myself for not being able to do anything? I don't know. The anger is directionless, useless. It burns for a while and then fades back into the general numbness that fills most of my hours. The sun begins its descent toward the western horizon. The shadows lengthen. The heat lessens slightly. I put my shirt back on, the fabric rough against my skin. My body aches in places I didn't know could ache, and my lower back from sleeping on metal, my knees from standing in the same positions, my shoulders from the constant tension of fear. Evening routine, perimeter check again. East, parking lot has more of them now, maybe 20, drawn by the commotion earlier. South, waiting man has moved. He's at the hot dog cart now, starting his nightly circuit. Pink tank top is on lap 30-something, still going. West, the dumpster pile has grown, more of them congregating at the back fence. North, don't look at the bathroom building, but I do anyway, briefly. Nothing's changed. Then, dinner. One piece of hard candy. I put it in my mouth and close my eyes, letting the artificial cherry flavor explode on my tongue. It's intense enough to make my eyes water. Sugar hits my bloodstream, and for 60 seconds I feel almost energized. Then it fades, and I'm back to hollow hunger. 4 candies left. After dinner, waste management. I piss into the bottle, careful not to spill. Pour it out the window. The wind is calm, so it falls straight down. I hear it patter onto the catwalk 20 feet below. Can't help that. No number 2 today. I haven't had solid food in enough quantity to produce waste in 3 days. My digestive system is probably eating itself. I remember reading about starvation once, how the body consumes muscle tissue first, trying to preserve fat for as long as possible, how eventually it starts breaking down organs, how the mind goes before the body, usually. Hallucinations, confusion, apathy. I wonder which stage I'm in. Night falls. The park transforms in the darkness. The rides become looming shadows, their bright paint invisible. The midway lights should turn on. There are strings of bulbs running the length of it, but the power is gone, so everything stays dark except for the moon. 3/4 full tonight, bright enough to cast shadows. The walkers become harder to see in the dark. I can track their movement by sound, the shuffling feet, the occasional crash when one walks into something, the constant low moaning, but I can't count them or predict their positions. This is when the fear is worst, when I can't see them but know they're down there, wandering in the darkness, maybe looking up at this booth without me knowing. I pull back from the windows and sit with my back to the control panel, my knees drawn up. This is my safe position. If I can't see them, I can pretend they're not there. But I can hear them. Always. The moaning is worse at night. During the day, it's almost background noise. But at night, when everything else is silent, it's all there is. A chorus of the dead harmonizing in their hunger. Sometimes one will get louder, rising to almost a wail, and others will join in, and the sound builds until it feels like it's coming from inside my head. I press my palms over my ears. Doesn't help much. Hours pass. I don't sleep. I haven't slept properly in days, just micro sleeps. 10 or 15 minutes at a time before a sound jerks me awake. My body is exhausted, but my mind won't shut down. It keeps replaying the runner getting caught, keeps calculating water ratios, keeps showing me images of the descent. My hands on the ladder, the catwalk, the platform, the ground, the walkers reaching for me, pulling me down. Around what might be midnight, something hits the Ferris wheel. The whole structure shudders. I jolt upright, heart hammering. Another impact, harder. The booth sways. I scramble to the window and look down. There are dozens of them at the base, 50, maybe more. They're pushing against the support struts, grabbing the ladder, shaking the fence that surrounds the operator platform. The motion makes the entire wheel groan, metal stress singing in the darkness. Did they hear me? Did I make noise without realizing? Or is this random, a mass migration that happened to center on my ride? I don't know. I freeze at the window, watching them pile against the structure. One of them, a man in shredded business casual, gets a foot on the ladder's bottom rung. He pulls himself up, then falls backward. Tries again. Falls again. They can't climb. They still can't climb. But there are so many of them now, and the ladder is only 10 feet tall before it reaches the platform, and if enough of them pile up, could they create a ramp of bodies? Could they overwhelm the structure through sheer mass? The Ferris wheel shudders again. Something below makes a sharp crack, metal or plastic breaking. The booth tilts slightly to the left, maybe an inch, then settles. I grab the control panel to steady myself. This is it. This is how it ends. The structure fails. The booth falls 90 feet with me inside. I die on impact, or I survive long enough for them to pull me out of the wreckage. I'm shaking so hard my teeth chatter. The panic attack is coming. I can feel it building, but there's no time for it because the structure is groaning and swaying, and they stop. Not all at once, gradually. One drifts away from the pile, then another. Within 5 minutes, the base of the wheel is clear except for 3 or 4 stragglers. The mass has moved on, heading toward the food court. Why? What changed? I didn't do anything. I've been standing here silent, barely breathing. Did they lose interest? Do they have that short of an attention span? I don't trust it. I stay at the window for another hour, watching, waiting for them to return. They don't. The base stays clear. The structure stops swaying. Eventually, I sit back down, my legs too weak to hold me. My heart rate slowly returns to normal. The panic fades to general anxiety, which fades to exhaustion. I sleep. Not intentionally. My body just shuts down. I dream about water. A stream clear and cold, running over rocks. I'm kneeling beside it, cupping my hands, bringing the water to my lips. It tastes like nothing, like air. I drink and stay thirsty. In the dream, I realize the stream is full of bodies, floating just below the surface, their eyes open and watching me drink. I wake with a gasp. The sun is rising, hitting the east window. Day 43. First thing, perimeter check. My hands are still shaking from the dream and the memory of last night. East window, parking lot normal. 20 or so walkers scattered. South, waiting man. Back at the balloon darts, pink tank top on her endless circuit. West, dumpster pile unchanged. North, bathroom building, don't look, but I do. Something's different. There's a body on the bathroom roof. Fresh. I can tell because it's not decomposed, not bloated. Just lying there on the flat roof, sprawled on its back. The runner from yesterday. Had to be. Somehow got up there and then, what, gave up? Died from injuries? I'm too far away to see details. I stare at the body for a long time. Another survivor, gone. How many are left? In the park, in the city, in the world? Am I the last person in this park? Probably. Was I the last person all along and just didn't know it? The sun climbs higher. The routine continues. Inventory. 3 water bottles, 5 crackers, 4 candies, half a box of Cracker Jacks, 1 melted Snickers. Supplies unchanged because I didn't eat anything last night except the candy. Fear suppresses appetite. I know I should eat anyway, maintain calories, but the thought of food makes my stomach turn. I compromise. 1 cracker. 5 left now. The morning passes, heat builds. I strip back down to undershirt and boxers. My skin is burned across the shoulders and nose from sun exposure through the glass. It hurts to touch. The hand sanitizer would sting if I put it on the burns, so I don't. Save it for the cut on my palm, which looks slightly better today. Less pink, more scabbed. Small victory. Noon comes and goes. The sun is directly overhead, no shadows, everything below washed out and hard to see in the glare. I move to the north window for shade and watch the bathroom building. The body on the roof hasn't moved. Obviously, dead things don't move unless they're the infected kind of dead, and this one is the permanent kind. I wonder if the runner was bitten, if they died from injuries or blood loss, or just gave up. There are probably 100 ways to die in an apocalypse. Infection, starvation, dehydration, injury, violence, suicide. The walkers are just one option. Thirst is becoming urgent. My tongue feels thick, my lips are cracked and bleeding. I take a sip from bottle 6, maybe 3 ounces. It's nearly empty now. I'll need to open bottle 7 soon. 2.5 bottles left, 5 days, maybe 6 if I really stretch it. 5 days to make a decision. I look at the door. The bolt is thrown, the wire reinforcement in place. Beyond the door is the catwalk, and beyond that is the ladder, and beyond that is 70 feet of descent and the water fountain and probable death. My hands start shaking, vision tunnels, heart rate spikes. No, not now. I need to think clearly. I force myself to breathe. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Again. The panic recedes slightly. Okay, let's think about this logically. What are the actual risks of the descent? Risk 1, falling. The ladder and catwalk are metal, probably corroded after 43 days of exposure and years of inadequate maintenance before that. If a rung breaks or a section of catwalk gives way, I fall 90 feet and die. Probability, medium. Mitigation, test each step before putting full weight on it. Slow and careful. Risk 2, noise. The descent will create sound. Footsteps on metal, the creak of the structure, maybe my own breathing if I'm panicking. Sound attracts them. Probability of attracting walkers, high. Mitigation, move during the day when I can see them and they're more spread out. Avoid moving at night when they're more active and I can't see them coming. Risk 3, encountering walkers on the ground. Even if I make it down safely and quietly, there are always 3 to 5 of them near the base of the wheel. Probability of encounter, certain. Mitigation, bring a weapon. The wrench, the screwdriver. Neither is ideal, but better than nothing. Create a distraction to draw them away first. Throw something from the booth to the far side of the park. Wait for them to investigate, then descend while they're gone. Risk 4, unable to get back up. If I make it down and reach the water fountain but can't get back to the booth, I'm trapped at ground level. This isn't really a risk, it's a guaranteed outcome. The climb back up will be harder than the descent. I'll be carrying water, tired, maybe injured, and they'll know I'm there by then. Probability, certain. Mitigation, none. This is a one-way trip. So the real question isn't, should I risk the descent? It's, should I leave the booth permanently and try to survive on the ground? And the answer is, I can't survive on the ground. There are too many of them. I'm not fast enough, not strong enough, not trained for this. The runner yesterday was probably younger and faster than me, and they still got caught. Staying in the booth means dying of thirst in 5 days. Leaving the booth means dying of being eaten, probably within hours. Both options are death. I'm just choosing the method and timing. The realization doesn't bring peace. It brings a weird, numb sensation, like I'm floating slightly outside my body. This is it. This is how it ends. Not dramatically, not heroically, just a slow countdown in a metal box until the water runs out, and I'm too weak to be afraid anymore. I laugh. It comes out harsh and croaking, my throat too dry for real sound. The laugh turns into a cough, and the cough hurts, and I stop. Pink tank top completes another lap around the carousel. Waiting man sways at his post. The group at the funnel cake stand has grown to 6. Life goes on, sort of, for the infected below and the dying man above. The afternoon passes in a haze. I might be getting feverish. My skin feels hot, but I'm shivering. Dehydration does this, I think, or heat stroke, or starvation. Take your pick. I eat another cracker without tasting it. 4 left. The sun descends. The heat lessens. I put my shirt back on and do the evening perimeter check. Everything normal, if normal is a word that means anything anymore. Dinner, 1 candy, 3 left. I don't bother with the waste management routine, nothing to eliminate. My body is running on fumes. Night falls, I don't sleep. I sit against the control panel and stare at the south window, watching the moonlight paint shadows across the rides below. Around midnight, I hear singing. Not Walker moaning, actual singing. A human voice, distant but clear. I scramble to the window and press my face against the glass, searching for the source. The voice is coming from the north section, somewhere near the bathroom building. It's a woman's voice. She's singing Amazing Grace, all 4 verses, her tone surprisingly steady. The walkers don't react. They can't distinguish singing from moaning, I guess. Or they're drawn by different frequencies. The singing continues for maybe 5 minutes, then stops abruptly mid-verse. Silence. I wait, barely breathing, for it to resume. It doesn't. Was that real? Did I hallucinate? Dehydration causes auditory hallucinations. I read that once. Or am I remembering wrong? Maybe I'm already at the stage where my brain is deteriorating. But it felt real. The voice was too specific, too clear. Someone else is alive in this park, or was alive 5 minutes ago. I should do something. Signal somehow. But how? I can't yell. That would attract every walker in range. I could try flashing the lighter through the window, but would anyone see it? Would they know what it meant? I stand at the north window for an hour, watching, waiting. No more singing, no movement except the usual shuffling. Eventually, I sit back down. Maybe the singer was on the bathroom roof and finally died. Maybe they wandered away. Maybe I imagined the whole thing. The night passes slowly. I drift in and out of microsleep, never fully unconscious. My dreams are fragmented. Water, my sister's face, the hiring manager's office, the runner being pulled down, singing. Day 44 arrives. The sun hits my eyes. I do the perimeter check automatically, my movements mechanical. The body is gone from the bathroom roof. I stare at the empty space where it was yesterday. The roof is bare, no blood, no drag marks visible from this distance. It's just gone. Did it reanimate and walk off? Did another walker pull it down? Did I imagine it was there in the first place? I don't know. I can't trust my senses anymore. Inventory. 2.5 water bottles, 4 crackers, 3 candies, half a box of Cracker Jacks, 1 Snickers. The numbers are going down. Soon, they'll hit 0. I don't eat anything for breakfast. Not hungry. Thirst is overwhelming everything else. My mouth is so dry my tongue sticks to the roof of it. Swallowing is painful. My urine is dark amber. I can see it in the bottle before I pour it out. Severe dehydration. I know this. I know what comes next. Organ failure, confusion, unconsciousness, death. 4 days, maybe 5. I finish water bottle 6. It's gone. I open bottle 7 and take a small sip. The water tastes wrong, flat and chemical, but I don't care. It's liquid. 2 bottles left. The day passes. I don't observe much. I'm too tired. I sit with my back to the control panel and close my eyes. The heat is intense, but I barely feel it. My body is shutting down non-essential functions. Temperature regulation is non-essential. At some point, afternoon probably, I hear a crash from below, loud enough to penetrate my fugue state. I force myself up and look out the south window. The carousel is on fire, not the whole thing. Just one section, the platform near the ticket booth. Flames are climbing one of the horses, the paint bubbling and blackening. Smoke rises in a thick black column. How? Why? Lightning strike, random electrical short, spontaneous combustion of old wood and grease? The walkers are drawn to it. They stumble toward the flames, getting close enough that I can see their clothes catching fire. They don't react. They just stand there burning until they collapse. Pink tank top walks into the flames on her circuit around the carousel. She doesn't stop, doesn't try to avoid them. Just continues her lap, her body catching fire, and then she falls and doesn't get up. The fire spreads. It jumps to the ticket booth, then to the game booth next to it. The flames climb higher, and now the smoke is dense enough that it obscures half the midway. I watch with numb fascination. The fire will spread. It will consume the park. Maybe it will reach the Ferris wheel. Maybe I'll die from smoke inhalation before I die from thirst. Faster, at least. But the wind shifts. The flames spread east toward the parking lot instead of west toward me. The carousel is fully engulfed now, the horses melting into grotesque shapes. The smoke rises straight up in the still air. Hours pass. The fire burns. Eventually, it runs out of fuel. The carousel is reduced to a blackened skeleton, still smoldering. The game booths are gone. The ticket booth is gone. Maybe 30 walkers burned in the fire. Their bodies lie scattered around the wreckage, charred lumps. The rest of them, the ones who didn't get close enough to burn, are still wandering. Waiting Man made it through unscathed. He's at the hot dog cart now, oblivious to the destruction behind him. The sun sets on day 44. The fire's glow is the only light besides the moon. I watch the embers pulse in the darkness like dying stars. I don't sleep. I'm beyond sleep. My body is eating itself, and my mind is fragmenting, and the fire below is still smoking, and somewhere in the park someone might be singing, but I can't hear it anymore over the ringing in my ears. Day 45. I don't do the perimeter check. What's the point? They're down there. They're always down there. I open water bottle 7 and drink half of it. 1.5 bottles left. 3 days. I eat the Cracker Jacks. All of them. The caramel corn tastes like ashes and sugar. I chew mechanically, swallow, chew, swallow. The prize inside is a temporary tattoo of a baseball. I stare at it for a while and then drop it on the floor. Noon. The heat is unbearable. I'm not sweating anymore. No water left in my body to sweat. This is bad. I know this is bad, but knowing doesn't help. I see my sister's face in the window glass. She's mouthing something. I can't hear her. I press my hand to the glass where her face is, and it's just my reflection, hollow-eyed and skeletal. The afternoon. I'm on the floor. When did I lie down? The metal is cool against my cheek. I hear the moaning from below. It sounds like singing. Evening. I force myself to sit up. Drink water. Bottle 7 is empty. I open bottle 8, the last one. I drink half. Now there's half a bottle left. 2 days. The moon rises, full or nearly full. Bright enough to read by if I had anything to read. The park below is silver and black, shadows and moonlight. I see movement on the bathroom roof. Someone's up there. They're waving. I wave back. They stop waving and sit down. I blink and the roof is empty. No one was there. Hallucination. But the singing starts again. Same voice, same song. Amazing Grace. She's on the 3rd verse. I try to sing along, but my throat won't work. I mouth the words instead. The singing stops. I wait for it to continue. It doesn't. Day 46. Or is it 47? I forgot to make a scratch mark yesterday. Or the day before. How many lines are on the wall? I try to count them, but they blur together. Water. I need water. I reach for the last bottle. It's warm. I drink it all, every drop. It's gone. No water left. The number said 3 days, but maybe I miscalculated. Maybe it's today. Maybe dying of thirst takes less time when you're already starving. I should be panicking. I should be crying, screaming, banging on the windows. But I'm just tired. So tired. I lie down on the floor. The metal is warm from the sun. Or maybe I'm cold. I can't tell. My sister is sitting next to me. She's holding the photo from my wallet. "You should have called me back," she says. "I'm sorry," I try to say, but no sound comes out. "It's okay," she says. "I'm here now." She's not really here. I know that, but I'm grateful for the hallucination anyway. The booth is dark. Is it night? The windows show light. Daytime, nighttime. It doesn't matter. I hear footsteps on the catwalk, heavy boots. The door rattles. Someone's trying to open it. I should care about this. It's important. But I can't remember why. The door opens. Impossible. It's locked. But it's open. A figure steps inside, backlit by sunlight. I can't see their face. "Found one," the figure says. "To someone else?" There's another person on the catwalk. Hands lift me. I try to help, but my body won't respond. Everything is distant, wrapped in cotton, water. Someone's pressing water to my lips. I try to drink but choke. They tilt my head. Try again. A trickle goes down my throat. It burns. Easy, small sips. You're okay. We got you. I'm moving, being carried, down the catwalk, down the ladder. I should be afraid, the walkers, but I can't hold on to the thought long enough to feel fear, sunlight, voices, a vehicle engine. I'm inside something, lying on a soft surface. A blanket? Sheets? The world is shaking, moving. More water. Someone's checking my pulse, my temperature. Medical terms I don't understand. I try to ask where we're going, but my throat won't work. "Safehouse?" someone says, reading my intention, if not my words. 20 miles north. You're going to make it. Am I? I don't know. I'm too tired to care. The vehicle rocks. Close my eyes. The engine hum fills everything. When I open them again, hours later, days. I'm in a bed, a real bed, with pillows and sheets. There's an IV in my arm. Sunlight streams through a window that shows trees, not rides, not the park. A woman sits in a chair next to the bed. She's maybe 40, wearing cargo pants and a tactical vest. A rifle leans against the wall behind her. "Welcome back," she says when she sees I'm awake. "I'm Lieutenant Chen. How are you feeling?" I try to speak. My throat is raw but functional. "Alive," she smiles. "Yeah, you are. Barely. We found you with maybe 12 hours left. Any longer and..." She shakes her head. "You're lucky." Lucky. The word feels absurd. 46 days in hell, watching people die, starving and dying of thirst in a metal box 90 feet up. Lucky. But I'm alive. Impossibly, I'm alive. How many? I ask. How many others? Her smile fades. In your area? You and the singer make 2. The singer didn't make it. We got there too late. Nationally, we estimate maybe 5% of the population, scattered, isolated. We're trying to connect survivors, establish safe zones. 5%. Out of 300 million people, 15 million survivors. Out of thousands in the park, just me. The park, I say. How did you know I was there? Satellite surveillance. We're monitoring everywhere we can, looking for signs of life. Saw the fire on the carousel, figured someone might have set it. Sent a team to check. Found your footprints on the catwalk. Saw the scratches on the wall. 46 days, right? 46, I confirm. She nods slowly. That's impressive. Most people in trapped positions last maybe a week, 2 if they're resourceful. You tripled that. I don't feel impressive. I feel empty, hollowed out. The fear and tension that filled every hour for the last month and a half has drained away, leaving nothing behind. What now? I ask. Now you recover. Eat, drink, rest. We've got a community here, about 60 people. You're safe. The perimeter is secure. After you're healthy, we'll talk about what comes next. Skills, what you can contribute. For now, just heal. Heal. Can you heal from something like that? From watching the world end? From 46 days in a metal box? I don't know, but I'm alive, which means I have to try. Chen stands. I'll let you rest. There's water on the table. Drink as much as you can. Someone will check on you in a few hours. She leaves. The room is quiet except for birdsong outside the window. Real birds. I'd forgotten what they sounded like. I reach for the water glass. My hand shakes. Malnutrition, dehydration, everything catching up. But I manage to bring it to my lips. The water is cool and clean and tastes like nothing, like heaven. I drink, and I think about a Ferris wheel operator booth, empty now, still suspended 90 feet above a ruined carnival. The control panel with 46 scratches on the wall, the windows looking down on the infected, wandering their endless circuits. I survived that. I survived. Now I have to figure out how to live. But first, water and rest. And the impossible luxury of being safe, even temporarily, even in a world that's 95% dead. I finish the glass, set it down, close my eyes. The sound of the engine hum is gone, replaced by silence and birdsong. I sleep. The days after rescue blur together. Time moves differently when you're not counting scratches on a wall. There's a rhythm here in the safe house that's both foreign and comforting. Morning meals, work details, evening gatherings, structure imposed on chaos. I'm in a converted summer camp about 30 miles north of where Lakeside used to be. Used to be? Past tense, because Chen told me they burned it. Fire purge, they call it. After extracting me, they set charges on the major structures and torched the whole park. Said it was attracting too many infected, creating a gathering point that threatened the safe roads nearby. The Ferris wheel burned with everything else. My booth, my scratches, the vending machine. All of it reduced to ash and twisted metal. I should feel something about that. Loss, maybe, or relief. But I'm too numb. It was a cage that kept me alive. Now it's gone, that's all. The safe house sits on 50 acres of wooded property, surrounded by a chain-link fence they've reinforced with scrap metal and barbed wire. Guard towers at each corner, manned in shifts. Maybe 70 people total now, up from 60 when I arrived. More survivors trickle in every few days, brought by scout teams like the one that found me. I've been here for 8 days. My body is recovering faster than my mind. The IV came out on day 2. By day 3, I could walk without help. Day 5, I could keep down solid food. Day 7, I was assigned to work detail, garden maintenance, pulling weeds from the vegetable plots behind the main building. The work is meditative. Hands in dirt, sun on my back, the simple task of removing things that don't belong. No decisions beyond, is this a weed or a plant? No life or death stakes, just dirt and roots and growth. But my mind won't settle. At night I lie in the bunk. I share a cabin with 3 other men, all rescued from various situations. I can't sleep. Not because I'm afraid. The opposite. It's too quiet. Too safe. My body hasn't adjusted to the absence of threat. I keep expecting to hear the moaning. Keep waiting for the booth to sway. Keep thinking I need to check the perimeter, count the walkers, ration the water. The routines I built over 46 days are etched so deep I can't shake them. On day 9, Chen finds me in the garden. Walk with me, she says. We circle the perimeter inside the fence. She's carrying her rifle, everyone here is armed, and her eyes constantly scan the tree line. Professional vigilance. She's former military, I learned. Marines. 3 deployments overseas before the outbreak. You're adapting well, she says, not a question. Am I? Physically. You put on weight, you're working, you're functional. You're not sleeping. How did you? Your bunkmates mentioned it. Said you're up most nights, sitting by the window. That's normal, by the way. After what you went through. She pauses. Most people in enclosed survival situations develop hypervigilance. It takes time to turn off. How much time? She doesn't answer immediately. We walk past the guard tower on the northeast corner. The guard, The kid, maybe 22, nods at Chen. She nods back. Depends, she finally says. Some people, weeks. Others, months. Some never really turn it off. They learn to function around it. That's not encouraging. No, she agrees. But it's honest. Look, I'm not going to bullshit you. What happened to you, to all of us, isn't something you just get over. The world ended. 95% of people died, or worse. The ones who survived did things, saw things that human beings aren't wired to process. You're not going to wake up one day and feel normal again, because normal doesn't exist anymore. We reach the south fence. Through the links, I can see the access road winding down the hill toward the highway. Empty. Always empty during the day. At night, sometimes infected wander up from the valley, drawn by lights or sounds or nothing. The guards shoot them. The bodies are dragged into a pit beyond the fence and burned weekly. So, what do I do? I ask. You build a new normal. You find purpose in the work we're doing here. You connect with other survivors. Shared trauma is powerful glue. You accept that some nights you won't sleep, some days you'll see things that aren't there. Some moments the fear will hit you like it's day one again. And you keep going anyway. She stops and faces me. You survived 46 days in impossible conditions. You're tougher than you think. Use that. I don't feel tough. Feel like I got lucky. Luck is part of it, she admits. But luck doesn't make you ration 3 water bottles over 6 days. Luck doesn't keep you quiet and hidden when every instinct says to scream for help. You made smart decisions under pressure. That's skill, not luck. We resume walking. The sun is high now, the day warming. Summer will turn to fall soon. Then winter. I wonder what winter will be like in the apocalypse. Cold will slow the infected down, maybe, or preserve them longer. Add another variable to the nightmare. We're planning an expansion, Chen says, changing subjects. There's a town 8 miles south that we think can be cleared and fortified. More buildings, better resources, potential for 100 more survivors. We need volunteers for the scout team. You're asking me? I'm telling you the opportunity exists. You don't have to decide now. But think about it. Sitting in the garden is fine for recovery, but you'll need more eventually. Purpose, action, a reason to keep going beyond just survival. She's right, I know. The garden work fills hours, but not the emptiness inside. I need something more. But the thought of leaving this fence, going back out into the world where they are, makes my chest tighten. I'll think about it, I say. Good. Take your time. We complete the circuit, and she leaves me at the garden. I return to pulling weeds, but my mind is elsewhere. The town, 8 miles south. What was it like there when things fell apart? How many died in the streets? How many are still wandering there now? Could I go back out there after everything? I don't know. But Chen's right. I need to find out. That night I lie in my bunk and force myself to close my eyes. Sleep won't come, but I try anyway. The other men in the cabin are already out, exhausted from their own work details. One snores softly. The sound is comforting, human. I think about the Ferris wheel, about Waiting Man and Pink Tank Top, and the group at the funnel cake stand. Are they ash now? Did they burn when the park did? Or did some of them wander away before the charges went off, still shuffling through their endless routines? I think about the singer, the woman with amazing grace. Chen said they were too late for her. How did she die? Quick or slow? Alone or surrounded? Did she know in her final moments that someone was coming? I think about the runner, the kid who got caught by the fast one. They survived long enough to reach that park, clever enough to stay alive in the initial outbreak, fast enough to evade the shambling hordes, but not fast enough. In the end, none of us are fast enough. Except I was. For 46 days, I was fast enough, smart enough, lucky enough. Now, I have to figure out if that's worth something. I turn over, face the window. Through it, I can see the fence, the tree line, the dark shapes of the guard towers. Protected. Safe. For now. Eventually, I sleep. Day 12 at the safe house. Morning comes with the sound of voices outside the cabin. Someone shouting, urgent but not panicked. I'm up and dressed before I'm fully awake, body operating on instinct. The other men are slower, groggy. I'm already at the door. Outside, people are gathering near the main gate. Chen is there, talking to the guards. I jog over. What's happening? She glances at me. Survivor group, radioed ahead. 5 of them requesting entry. That's good, right? Should be, but they're spooked. Said something's following them, something organized. Organized. The word drops into my stomach like a stone. Infected don't organize. They wander, they chase immediate threats, but they don't plan or coordinate. Unless they do. Unless they're evolving. The gate opens. A pickup truck rolls in, moving fast, kicking up dust. 5 people in the bed, 3 more in the cab. As soon as they're through, the gate slams shut. The guards scan the road beyond. The survivors pile out. They're in rough shape, torn clothes, wild eyes, one woman bleeding from a gash on her arm. Chen is already moving toward them, directing them to the medical building. I follow at a distance, watching. The man who was driving, mid-30s, beard, hunting rifle strapped to his back, is talking rapid fire to Chen. Didn't believe it at first, thought we were seeing things. But there were too many of them, moving too coordinated. They flanked us. Actually, flanked us. Set up at both ends of the street and closed in. We had to go through a building to escape. Out the back windows. How many? Chen asks. 20, maybe 25. Moving together, like a pack. Chen's jaw tightens. Where? Town called Riverside, about 15 miles southeast of here. 15 miles, not far. And if they're organized, if they're learning to hunt in packs, the implications are bad. Very bad. Chen catches my eye. Meeting in 20 minutes, main hall. You should be there. Me. Why me? I'm the garden duty guy. But I nod anyway. The main hall is the camp's converted dining facility. Long tables, folding chairs, a whiteboard on one wall. By the time I arrive, 15 people are already there. Chen, the guard captain, the medical lead, the supply coordinator, and others I recognize but don't know well. The survivors from the truck are there too, drinking water, still looking shaken. Chen stands at the front. All right, let's hear it from the beginning. The bearded man, his name is Marcus, steps forward. He's calmer now, but still tense. We were scavenging in Riverside. It's a small town, maybe 5,000 people before. We'd been through it once before, about 2 weeks ago, and it was clear. Some infected but scattered, easy to avoid. Today was different. He pauses, drinks water. We split into 2 groups, 3 of us checking the pharmacy, the other 5 at the grocery store 2 blocks away. We were in the pharmacy maybe 10 minutes when Sarah, he gestures to the bleeding woman, spotted them through the window. A group of infected, maybe 15, moving down the street together, not wandering, moving with purpose. Could they have been chasing something? The guard captain asks. That's what we thought. But there was nothing ahead of them. No noise, no movement. They were just sweeping, like they were searching. And they flanked you? Chen's tone is neutral, but her body language is tense. Yeah. Half went down Main Street. The other half split off down the alley between buildings. We didn't even realize they'd split until the second group came up behind us. They had us boxed in. We had to barricade the pharmacy door, go out through the storage room, climb through a window into the next building, and run like hell to the truck. Did they pursue? Yeah, but not like usual. They didn't just chase us straight. Some of them went around buildings like they were trying to cut us off. We only made it because we had the truck and they don't understand vehicles yet. Yet. That word hangs in the air. Chen looks at the medical lead. Is this possible? Could the infection be evolving? Dr. Rahim, a woman in her 50s who was an ER surgeon before, frowns. Theoretically, maybe. We don't understand the infection's mechanism well enough. If it's viral or bacterial or prion-based, evolution is possible, especially under selection pressure. The ones that coordinate better survive longer, pass on those traits, or in this case, infect others who might retain that behavior. Or, the supply coordinator, a man named Davis, interjects, they're not evolving, they're just remembering. These are fresh infected, maybe only a few weeks old, still have enough brain function to access old memories, hunting tactics from when they were alive, military training maybe. Either way, Chen says, it's a problem. If they're organizing, even in small groups, our current tactics won't work. We can't afford to assume they'll stay scattered and stupid. What about the town expansion? Someone asks. The scout mission? On hold. Until we know more about what we're dealing with, we're not sending people into potential ambushes. She turns to Marcus. You're sure about what you saw? Not exaggerating? He meets her eyes. I'm sure. And that's not even the worst part. There's worse. One of them was using tools. I saw it pick up a brick and throw it at the pharmacy window. Not random. Aimed. It missed, but it was trying. The room goes silent. Tool use. That's not infection behavior. That's intelligence. Chen closes her eyes briefly. When she opens them, her expression is set. All right, new protocols. No one leaves the compound without heavy escort. Minimum 4 people, 2 long guns. Scavenging runs are suspended until further notice. Guard shifts doubled. We need to be ready for the possibility that they're learning to attack fortified positions. We don't have the supplies for a prolonged siege, Davis says. We were depending on the scavenging runs. I know, but I'm not sending people out to die. We'll figure out the supply situation. The meeting continues. Logistics, rotations, contingencies, but I'm not really listening anymore. I'm thinking about the fast one from the park, the way he moved with purpose, vaulting obstacles, chasing the runner with clear intent. Was he an early example of this? Was he remembering how to hunt? And if they're getting smarter, what else can they learn? Can they climb eventually? Can they figure out how to open doors, operate weapons? The meeting ends. People disperse to their duties. I start to leave, but Chen catches my arm. You saw one like this, didn't you? She says quietly. At the park. You mentioned a fast one in your debriefing. I nod. He was different from the others, more aware. I thought maybe he was just, I don't know, an outlier. He might have been the first we've heard of, but he's not an outlier anymore. It's spreading. She pauses. This changes things. We might not be able to stay here long term. If they're learning to hunt in packs, learning to use tools, they'll figure out the fence eventually. Where would we go? North. Mountains maybe. Someplace remote, defensible, with natural barriers they can't cross. But moving 70 people is a massive operation. Vehicles, fuel, food, weapons. It'll take weeks to plan. Do we have weeks? She doesn't answer. We both know the answer is maybe. I spend the rest of the day in the garden, but the work doesn't soothe like it did before. My hands move automatically. Pull weed, check plant, move to next, while my mind races. Smarter infected, tool users, pack hunters. Every advantage we had is eroding. The fence that feels safe now could be overrun. The distance we keep from them could close. The rules we've learned could become obsolete. I survived 46 days by learning their patterns. But if those patterns are changing, if they're adapting, what then? That night, I don't even try to sleep. I sit by the window and watch the tree line. The guards patrol the fence. Everything looks normal, but normal is an illusion. Somewhere out there, 15 miles away, a group of infected is learning to hunt, and we're the prey. Day 15. The safe house is on edge. Everyone feels it. The tension in voices, the way people check over their shoulders, the increase in guard presence. Scavenging is still suspended. Supplies are being rationed. Chen and the Leadership Council meet twice daily behind closed doors. Rumors spread faster than facts. I've heard everything from the infected are building weapons to there's a horde of thousands heading this way. Most of it is panic talk, people filling in the blanks with their worst fears. But some of it might be true. I've stopped working in the garden. Instead, I've been assigned to the fence line, reinforcement duty. We're adding extra layers of chain link, securing weak points, digging a shallow trench on the outside perimeter. The work is hard, physical, and it doesn't leave room for thinking. That's good. I'm digging with a shovel near the south fence when I hear engines. Multiple vehicles coming up the access road fast. The alarm sounds, 3 short blasts on the horn. Not an attack, but urgent. Everyone drops what they're doing and moves toward the gate. 2 trucks roll in, both military-style cargo vehicles. The gate closes behind them. Chen is already there, talking to the driver of the first truck. I edge closer to hear. From the regional base, command pulled back to the capital. They're consolidating survivors, supplies, everything. We're supposed to spread the word to outlying groups like yours. Consolidating where? Chen asks. Pittsburgh. They've cleared the downtown area, set up a green zone, walls, generators, agriculture, the works. They're calling it Bastion. It's the largest surviving settlement in the region, maybe 5,000 people. 5,000 out of millions. But it's still more than I expected. How secure is it? Chen's tone is skeptical. As secure as anything can be. They've got military personnel, heavy weapons, and supply lines. It's the best option we've got. And you're suggesting we pack up and move there? I'm suggesting you consider it. Regional Command is offering transport, protection, integration, but it's voluntary. You can stay if you want. Just know that support for outlying groups is ending. No more supply drops, no more scout assistance. They're focusing resources on Bastion. Chen is silent for a moment. How long do we have to decide? We're making the rounds. Be back through in 3 days. You want in? Be ready to move. Otherwise, you're on your own. The truck driver hands Chen a packet of papers, maps, instructions, something official looking. Then, both trucks turn around and roll back out the gate. Chen stands there, staring at the papers, her expression unreadable. The next 3 hours are chaos. Leadership Council meeting, followed by a general assembly in the main hall. 70 people crammed into a space meant for 40, everyone talking at once. Chen stands at the front and waits for silence. When she speaks, her voice is calm but firm. You heard the offer. Bastion is the government's plan for long-term survival. Walls, resources, community. They're offering to take us in. So we're leaving? Someone shouts. That's up for discussion, but let me be clear. If we stay, we're on our own. No more outside support. And we're facing an increasing threat from the infected. What Marcus reported, the pack hunting, the tool use, that's not isolated. I've been in contact with other groups. They're seeing the same thing. The infected are adapting. All the more reason to go to Bastion, another voice says. Maybe. Or maybe we're trading independence for a cage. I don't know what conditions are like there. I don't know how much freedom we'd have, what rules they'd impose. And moving 70 people is dangerous. The roads aren't clear. We'd be vulnerable during transport. More vulnerable than staying here? Marcus asks. He's standing near the back, arms crossed. If they're getting smarter, this fence won't hold forever. He's right, someone else agrees. We should go. We should stay, a woman argues. We built something here. We can fortify it, improve it. The debate spirals. Stay, go, stay, go. Everyone has an opinion. Chen lets it run for a few minutes, then raises her hand. We vote. Show of hands. Who wants to go to Bastion? About 40 hands go up, more than half. Who wants to stay? Maybe 20 hands. The rest are undecided or abstaining. Chen nods slowly. The majority wants to go, but I'm not forcing anyone. If you want to stay, you can stay. We'll split supplies fairly, but I'm leading the group that goes. We leave in 3 days when the trucks return. And that's it. Decision made. 40 people, including me, because what else am I going to do? We'll pack up and move to Pittsburgh. 30 will stay and take their chances here. The next 3 days are a blur of preparation. Packing supplies, loading vehicles, saying goodbyes. The camp fractures into 2 groups, those leaving and those staying. The division is awkward, tense. People who work side by side for weeks are suddenly on different paths. I don't have much to pack. My personal belongings fit in a small backpack, the clothes I've been wearing, my wallet with the photo of my sister, the dead phone I still carry. That's it. Everything else was lost in the park or never existed in the first place. On the evening of day 17, I walked the perimeter one last time. The fence I helped reinforce, the garden I tended, the cabins where I barely slept. It's strange. I've only been here 2 weeks, but it feels like longer. Like this place was a reprieve from the nightmare, a brief window of something like normalcy. Tomorrow we leave. Tomorrow we trade this known quantity for an unknown one. Bastion. 5,000 survivors, walls and generators and agriculture. It sounds too good to be true, which probably means it is. But what choice do we have? I return to the cabin and try to sleep. This time, it comes easier. Maybe because exhaustion finally overrides hypervigilance. Or maybe because I know tomorrow brings change. And change at least feels like progress. I dream about the Ferris wheel again. I'm in the booth, but it's different. The windows are clean, the supplies are infinite, and the park below is empty. No infected, no bodies, just abandoned rides and silence. I'm alone, but not lonely. Safe, but not trapped. I wake to the sound of engines. The trucks have arrived. It's time to go. The convoy is 5 vehicles total. The 2 military cargo trucks, Chen's pickup, a passenger van, and a semi-trailer loaded with supplies. 40 people distributed among them. I'm in the back of one of the cargo trucks with 8 others sitting on benches bolted to the walls. The canvas cover overhead flaps in the wind. We roll out at dawn. The 30 people staying behind line up at the fence to watch us leave. Some wave, others just stare. It feels like a funeral. The access road winds down through the hills toward the highway. The forest is thick here, trees pressing close on both sides. Good cover, but also good ambush territory. Everyone is quiet, tense. We're armed. I've been given a handgun, a Glock with 2 magazines, 15 rounds total. I've fired a gun maybe twice in my life, at a range, years ago. But it's better than nothing. The highway is a disaster. Abandoned cars everywhere, clustered in lanes like they were stuck in traffic when everything fell apart. Some are burned, some have bodies inside, dried husks in driver's seats. We weave between them, the convoy moving slowly, stopping occasionally so the lead truck can ram a vehicle out of the way. It takes 3 hours to cover 20 miles. 3 hours of grinding tension, everyone watching the tree line, the overpasses, the cars we pass, waiting for something to go wrong. Around mid-morning, it does. The lead truck stops abruptly. The whole convoy halts. From my position in the back, I can't see what's happening. Someone radios Chen. Her voice comes through the walkie-talkie clipped to the truck's wall. Roadblock. Looks deliberate. Everyone stay alert. Deliberate. That word again. A minute passes, 2, then gunfire. Not the scattered shots of someone shooting infected, sustained fire, automatic weapons. The sound is unmistakable. Our truck lurches into reverse. Someone shouts, more gunfire, closer now. I lean toward the canvas opening at the back and see figures running between cars. Not infected. People, live people, with guns, bandits, raiders, whatever you want to call them. Survivors who decided cooperation was for suckers and violence was more efficient. A bullet punches through the canvas above my head. Someone screams. We're returning fire now. The guards at the back of the truck are leaning out, shooting at shapes I can barely see. The truck swerves, throwing me against the wall. This is chaos. No strategy, no plan, just survival. The convoy splits. Chen's pickup peels off down an exit ramp. The van follows. Our truck goes straight, accelerating hard, ramming through the roadblock. Wooden pallets and shopping carts that scatter like toys. The second cargo truck is behind us. The semi doesn't make it. I see it through the canvas, stopped, surrounded. People climbing into the cab. We abandon them. No choice. It's us or them. The highway opens up. We're moving fast now, 70 miles per hour, weaving between cars. The gunfire fades behind us. But we've lost half the convoy. The semi with most of our supplies, the van with 12 people, maybe Chen's pickup. I don't know. The two cargo trucks are all that's left, racing north. We drive for another hour before slowing. No sign of pursuit, no sign of the rest of the convoy. The truck pulls off at an exit, winds through a suburban area, and stops in the parking lot of what used to be a high school. Everyone piles out, checking for injuries. 3 people are wounded, gunshot grazes mostly. No one died, but we came close. The mood is grim. The other cargo truck pulls in behind us. 18 people total now, down from 40. Chen isn't with us. Neither is Dr. Rahim or Marcus or half the people I recognized. The driver of the lead truck, a National Guardsman named Corporal Hayes, takes charge. We can't stay here. Need to find shelter, regroup, figure out our next move. What about Bastion? Someone asks. We're still going, right? That's the plan, but it's another 40 miles and we don't have the fuel for a straight shot. We need to find a gas station, scavenge supplies, and move carefully. No more main roads. The high school is empty, cleared out weeks ago by the look of it. We move inside, better than being exposed in the parking lot. The gym becomes our temporary base. Sleeping bags on the basketball court, supplies in the equipment room, guards at the entrances. That night, I lie on the hardwood floor and stare at the ceiling. The gym smells like sweat and dust and fear. Around me, people are whispering, crying, trying to process what happened. We left safety. We abandoned the people in the semi. We lost Chen, maybe for good. And for what? A promise of walls and community in a city that might be just as dangerous as everywhere else. I think about the booth again. 46 days of hell, but at least I knew the rules. I knew where the threats were. Out here on the road, everything is uncertain, but I'm alive, still alive. And as long as that's true, I have to keep moving. Tomorrow we'll scavenge, find fuel, continue toward Bastion. Tonight, I'll lie here and try not to think about the people in the semi, about Chen, about how thin the line is between alive and dead. Tomorrow. We'll figure it out tomorrow. Day 19. The high school gym is cold in the morning. Our breath mists in the air. Summer is ending faster than I realized. Soon it'll be fall, then winter. I wonder if the infected freeze. Probably not. One more advantage they have. Hayes gathers us in the gym center. 18 faces, all exhausted, all scared. He's trying to project confidence, but I can see the cracks. He's maybe 25. He doesn't want this responsibility any more than the rest of us. All right, here's the situation. We've got one truck with maybe a quarter tank of fuel. That's enough to get us maybe 20 miles if we're lucky. Bastion is 40 miles north. We need gas, food, and medical supplies. Where? Someone asks. There's a town 2 miles west. Small place, maybe 2,000 people before. We scout it today, see what's salvageable. What about the others? A woman asks. Chen, the van, the semi? Hayes' expression tightens. I tried raising them on the radio this morning. No response. Either they're out of range, their equipment is damaged, or he doesn't finish the sentence. We have to assume we're on our own. On our own. 18 people, one truck, low supplies, between us and safety, 40 miles of hostile territory. Great. Hayes divides us into two groups. One stays at the school, fortify, rest, prepare for a quick departure. The other scouts the town. I volunteer for the scout group. Sitting around waiting makes the fear worse. Better to move, to act, to do something. 6 of us in the truck. Hayes, me, 2 other National Guardsmen, Jackson and Patel, and 2 civilians, a man named Darren and a woman named Lisa. We're armed with a mix of rifles and handguns. Hayes has a shotgun. I still have the Glock, though I haven't fired it yet. The town is called Edgewood. We approach slowly, Hayes driving, everyone else scanning for threats. The streets are empty. Cars abandoned mid-drive, some with doors open. A grocery store on the main drag has its window smashed. A pharmacy burned out, just a husk. We pass bodies, lots of them. Most are desiccated, weeks old. Some are fresher. One is moving, an infected woman in a bathrobe, crawling across the sidewalk, her legs shattered. She reaches toward the truck as we pass. We don't stop. The gas station is at the far end of town. Hayes parks the truck a block away. We approach on foot, weapons ready. The station is intact. No visible damage, no infected nearby. Too good to be true, which means it probably is. Hayes signals. Jackson and Patel move to the pumps. The rest of us form a perimeter. I'm watching the convenience store entrance, Glock raised, my hands surprisingly steady. Pumps are dead, Jackson reports. No power. Manual siphon? Hayes asks. We can try the underground tanks, but we'll need to open the access panels. Do it. While Jackson and Patel work, I keep scanning. The street is too quiet. No moaning, no movement. Where are they? Then I see it. A shape in the window of the convenience store, not moving, just standing there, watching. Contact, I say quietly. Store, one visible. Hayes moves next to me. He sees it too. Just one? So far. We wait. The shape doesn't move. Minutes pass. Jackson gets the access panel open and starts feeding a hose into the tank. The siphoning process is slow. We need time. The shape in the window shifts. Then, it's gone. Where'd it go? Lisa asks, her voice tight. I don't know. The door to the convenience store opens, not violently, it swings slowly, like someone pushed it with deliberate care. The infected woman steps out. She's wearing a store uniform, name tag still pinned to her chest. Brenda. She stops on the threshold. Her head tilts, bird-like, as she looks at us. Then she makes a sound, not a moan, a whistle. High-pitched, sharp, intentional. Oh shit, Darren mutters. From the alley beside the store, more of them emerge. From behind the building, from the street behind us. 10, 15, 20. They're surrounding us. Gas now! Hayes barks. It's not done, Jackson shouts back. Doesn't matter. Get what we have and load up. We back toward the truck, weapons up. The infected are moving slowly, not the usual shambling but deliberate steps. They're coordinating, closing the circle. Hayes fires the shotgun. The lead infected, a man in coveralls, goes down. The others don't react. They keep coming. We're at the truck. Jackson is hauling the gas can, maybe 5 gallons, not enough but better than nothing. Patel is covering him. I'm watching the group to our left, 12 of them getting closer. One breaks into a run. I fire. The Glock kicks in my hand. The shot goes wide. I fire again. This time it hits. Chest, center mass. The infected stumbles but doesn't fall. I fire a 3rd time. Headshot. It drops. Go! 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 Hayes is in the driver's seat, engine running. We pile into the back. The infected are at the truck now, grabbing the tailgate. Jackson kicks one in the face. It falls back. Patel slams the tailgate shut. The truck accelerates. Something hits the side, a thrown object, a brick, just like Marcus said. Tool use. We speed away, leaving the gas station and the town behind. No one speaks for several minutes. We're all breathing hard, adrenaline burning through our systems. 5 gallons, Jackson finally says. That's maybe 30 miles if we're conservative. Close enough, Hayes says. His voice is shaking. We can make it. We have to. We return to the high school. The scavenging was a partial success, gas at least, but the encounter shook everyone. The infected aren't just learning to hunt in packs, they're setting traps, using signals, adapting faster than we anticipated. That night, Hayes calls another meeting. We leave at dawn. Push straight through to Bastion, hope the fuel lasts. No more stops, no more risks. We get there, or we die trying. It's not inspiring, but it's honest. I lie on the gym floor again, trying to sleep. My hands still shake from the gunfire. I killed one today. Maybe my first kill. Hard to say if the ones in the park died from the fire or were already gone. But today, I saw the bullet hit, saw the body fall. It should feel like something. Guilt, satisfaction, horror, pride. But I feel nothing. Just empty. Tomorrow we drive. Tomorrow we reach Bastion or we don't. Tonight, I stare at the ceiling and count my breaths until exhaustion drags me under. Day 20. Dawn breaks cold and clear. We load into the truck, all 18 of us, no room to spare. The gas can is lashed to the side. Hayes pours it into the tank, 5 gallons to add to the remaining quarter tank. Enough for maybe 50 miles if we're lucky and the roads are clear. 40 miles to Bastion, 10 miles of buffer. It'll be close. We roll out. The route takes us through back roads and suburban sprawl, avoiding the highway after yesterday's ambush. The roads here are clearer. Fewer cars, less congestion, but also less cover. We're exposed. An hour in, we pass a group of infected, maybe 30 of them, clustered around the ruins of a strip mall. They notice the truck. Some start to follow, but we're too fast. They fade behind us. 2 hours. We're making good time. Fuel gauge hasn't moved much. Maybe we'll actually make it. Then the road ends. Not blocked, literally ends. A bridge over a river collapsed. The concrete span has fallen into the water, leaving a 40-foot gap. Fuck, Hayes says. It's the first time I've heard him curse. We backtrack, looking for an alternate route. The map shows another bridge 5 miles east. We take it. But 5 miles is fuel we can't spare. The second bridge is intact. We cross, the truck's weight making the structure groan. Everyone holds their breath until we're on the other side. The detour cost us. The fuel gauge is dropping faster now. We're still maybe 25 miles from Bastion. Noon. The landscape changes. We're entering the outskirts of Pittsburgh. Buildings grow taller, closer together. The roads are worse here. More cars, more debris. Hayes navigates carefully, conserving fuel, but every stop and start drains the tank. 15 miles to go. The gauge is below a quarter tank now. We pass through neighborhoods that look like war zones. Buildings burned, cars overturned, bodies everywhere. Some areas are completely silent. Others have infected wandering aimlessly. We avoid them when we can. 10 miles. The engine coughs once, twice, then smooths out. But the message is clear. We're running out. 5 miles. The truck slows to a crawl. Hayes is coasting wherever possible using momentum. But Pittsburgh isn't flat. Hills drain the tank faster. 3 miles. The engine coughs again, rougher this time. Hayes curses under his breath. Come on, come on. 2 miles. I can see the city center ahead, the skyline recognizable even through the haze. Somewhere in there is Bastion. Walls and safety, and 5,000 survivors. 1 mile. The engine dies. We coast to a stop in the middle of a 4-lane road. Hayes tries to restart it. The engine turns over, catches, dies again. 3rd try. Nothing. We're out, he says. Silence in the truck. Then Someone starts crying. Another person punches the wall. "We walk," Hayes says. "It's a mile, maybe less. We can make it." "A mile through the city?" Darren's voice is high, panicked. "Are you insane?" "You have a better idea?" No one does. We pile out. Hayes distributes the remaining supplies: water, ammunition, a few rations. We leave the truck behind, abandoned like all the others. Another piece of the old world, useless now. 18 of us start walking. The road is eerily quiet. Buildings loom on both sides, windows dark. Every shadow could hide infected. Every alley could be an ambush. Half-mile in, we see them. A group of infected, maybe 20, blocking the road ahead. They're not moving, just standing there, waiting. "They knew we'd come this way," Lisa whispers. Hayes raises a hand. We stop. We go around, through the buildings. We duck into a parking garage. The interior is dark, the emergency lights long dead. We move slowly, using flashlights sparingly. The sound of our footsteps echoes, a moan from above. Then another. "They're in here with us." "Faster!" Hayes hisses. We break into a jog. The exit is ahead, a ramp leading up to street level. Behind us, the moaning grows louder. They're following. We burst out onto the street. Daylight, open air. We run. The infected from inside spill out behind us. Not just the ones from the garage. More are emerging from buildings, alleys, cars. Dozens. They're converging. "There!" Patel points. Ahead, maybe 3 blocks, is a wall. A real wall. Concrete and steel 30 feet high. Bastion. We run. Full sprint. My lungs burn. My legs scream. Behind us, the infected are close. I can hear them. Feel them. 2 blocks. A woman next to me trips, falls. Someone pulls her up. We keep running. 1 block. The wall is huge, imposing, real. There's a gate, massive and sealed. Guard towers on either side. People with rifles watching us. "Open the gate!" Hayes screams. "Open the fucking gate!" The gate starts to move, slowly, too slowly. We're at the wall. The infected are seconds behind. The gate is opening, a gap wide enough for maybe 2 people at a time. We squeeze through, shoving, desperate. I'm through. I turn back. Darren is still outside, fumbling with his rifle. An infected grabs him. He screams. Hayes fires. The infected falls. Darren stumbles through the gap. The gate slams shut behind him. We collapse inside, gasping, shaking, alive. Bastion. We made it.